Hello everyone, welcome to the next class. So here I'm going to introduce you to the concept of a variable, a global variable in Linux that contains directories which Linux uses to search for a specific application or command within those directories. So for those who frequently work with Windows, often you're deeply inside a directory and you diligently look for a specific program or application, and you unfortunately get an error saying that file or actually that particular program doesn't exist, right? So in Windows, there's an area for variables in the Windows settings themselves where you specify which directories Windows should search for a file, right? It's the same way in Linux. In Linux, there's a variable called wpath, and you can check the contents of this variable using the echo command. So if you run this command here, look, it will show you by default which directories, when you execute any program, even if you're not in that directory, where that program should exist but doesn't, the Linux system will search for the binary, the .exe of that program to load it and execute it, right? For example, the Nano editor we looked at, Nano is not here in the home directory, okay? Do you remember in previous lessons when I said that the binaries are all inside the bind directory, right? So here, when you run any program, when you call the name of a program, besides Linux searching in the current directory, which we can check with the pwd command, we'll also check the contents of this variable here that stays in memory, okay? And it will search within this list here, which is separated by colons. So for example, it will meticulously look for the nano program, for instance, deep inside the DU USR bin directory, then subsequently within the D USRS bin directory and so on, okay? This comprehensive search ensures that the system can locate the necessary executable files efficiently and effectively across various standard system paths. I'll leave you with the lab exercise here for you to do some research on Google, on ChatGPT, or wherever you prefer. How can you add a directory, for example, home to this list? All right. So it will have to include :home here. How do you do this in Linux? All right. I'm not going to just hand this one to you. Do some research. Okay. Take it as a challenge because that's how it will be in your day-to-day work. You have to use Google, and nowadays there's ChatGPT, which helps us a lot, right? So there's your challenge. I'm going to proceed with another laboratory exercise here, which is truly quite interesting, and I absolutely need to demonstrate this particular tail command to you, okay? This tail command is really cool because it shows the contents of a file in real time. This is fantastic. For example, when you need to monitor an error log file, like Oracle's, for instance. All right. So with Oracle, as we'll see, there's a directory, there's a file where Oracle logs what's happening inside it at that moment, including errors, right? And you can monitor in real time all the commands that are being written to this file. We do this using the tail command. So here, I'm going to create a new little file with the touch command right in the home directory, a log file called log.txt. There's no content at all, right? So here, if I execute this command, observe closely. Tail F followed by the file name. This command is already actively engaged in continuously reading and displaying what's happening, what's going on at this very moment, providing a live feed of the file's contents as events unfold. Okay? Let me do a test here. I'm going to open another window here, PATI. I'm going to make a second connection. I'm going to log in here as root. Linux 123 is my password. Alien Metis wasn't planned, but let me use echo here and put some random content into this file. Okay, so here home, open a second Linux compute window and run it. So we are now going to proceed and execute this particular command right here. Look closely, as if a significant error message was intentionally generated and appended at the very end of the Oracle log file, okay? Let's carefully observe and see if the tail command will successfully catch and display this newly added error entry, right? This error in real time. So here, look at this. Using the echo command, I'm going to generate this line here, see, inside this log file that we're reading with the tail command, okay? Which is running in the background, see? All right, it's reading here. Look, there's nothing for now. It's online, right? But there's no content yet. So here, let's put this content into this file, okay? Let me check here. A little line has already appeared here. Look, error. Let me copy it again, copy it again. I think I copied it wrong, okay? It's already generating lines in there. I just don't understand why it's not putting home log. It's generating. It seems like it's generating content that I'm not putting in. Let me check here. Error inside the home directory. Tail minus f home log. Yeah, that's strange. Let me put an uppercase error here. See if that makes any difference. Look, the error appeared. Yeah, the mysteries of computing. An unexpected error occurred. Lowercase. Let's put it here again. Look, lowercase error. Could it be because of the exclamation mark? Is it something reserved? Let me check here. Yeah, it's this exclamation mark here. It must be something that's breaking it. So let me put here, for example, error. Attention, Oracle database. So let's go. Let's keep feeding it. Look here. See, it's showing up, you see? So using the tail command, you can read in real time what's happening inside a file any file. Okay? This is useful for you when you want to run a command and follow in real time what's happening, right? In some log file. Okay? You can do this using the tail command. All right? To exit, Control C. If you want to go back, tail, there it is, it's still reading. Okay? As you exit this command, sometimes you have a very long path, right? To reach a certain file. Imagine the file is in a subdirectory with 20 directories before it. Okay? And then you want to use tail or cat, whatever it is. You can create, for example, an alias, a nickname, and then you, for example, with this alias, you give the alias whatever name you want to create. In this case, it's alert, but it could be expto, anything at all, okay? And I want that when I run this word here, it executes a specific command for me. In this case, it's tail, but it could be any command. Imagine there's a very complex command inside a subdirectory, and you don't want to have to remember the whole command every time. You can create an alias, right? You create and execute the alias, give it a name. You can create several different aliases, so you just have to remember them later. And what is this alias going to do? All right. So here, look, if I run, for example, alias alert, this alias has been created. And now, instead of typing tailf and the whole path here, the file name, I just type alert. And it does the same thing, okay? I'm creating a nickname, a shortcut for a complex command, right? There you go. It's been created. Now, if you run that echo again to feed the file, it will show up down here again, okay? So that's what I wanted to show you. Take care and see you in the next class. And I already planned, in the next class to start looking at Oracle on Linux, okay? So these are the basic commands for Oracle Linux, which are the same commands used in other distributions, all right? With this command, if you don't have experience with Linux, you can already start working. We saw how to install Oracle Linux, how to perform some configurations, the main commands, how to check memory usage, CPU usage, swap, all right? And now we'll move on, God willing, in the next class to installing Oracle database in this environment. If you have any questions, post them in the community. I'll be answering as much as possible. Don't forget that nowadays you have plenty of resources to improve your knowledge using Google, YouTube, ChatGPT. And if you need to improve and train a lot, if you really need in-depth Linux knowledge, there are very specific and comprehensive Linux courses because Linux is a whole world, all right? Usually, there's a team that handles this matter within your company. And often there are sub-teams, for example, a specific security team within Linux, okay?